Okay, so if you're watching this video, you're about to find out that in this video, I'm getting a signed first edition, first print of a book that I already had in unsigned first edition, first print. So after the video, I thought about before the video posting this up. This is the first edition, first print, trade hardcover of Blake Crouch's Recursion. It is unsigned. It is a first edition. It is a first print. Here's our number line all the way down to 1. The condition is, as far as I know, we'll just say, in a word, perfect. The corners are great. The dust jacket is covered in Mylar. I don't know of any flaws or anything like that in this book. The reason I'm telling you that is I might as well give this book away. Might as well send it to somebody who wants it. So I'm fixing to show you a video, but if you want this book, regular old, first edition, first print, trade hardcover, US version of Blake Crouch, crown on the spine, all wrapped up just like it is, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Give me a thumbs up if you think it's worthwhile, but make a comment in this video that says something like, I want Recursion. Something like, I want Recursion. And then what I'll do is I'll have one of the kids do a drawing with me, and we'll give you this video, we'll give this book away in about a week. Again, just a trade hardcover, no big deal, but I might as well give it to you instead of giving it to Second and Charles for $1. Send it to one of you guys that might, one of you folks that might want it. Now, back to the regularly scheduled program. Hello everyone, welcome to the neighborhood. Today I've got some books to unbox, and I placed an order with a company called VJ Books. Ever hear of them? This is not the first order I've ever placed with VJ Books, and hopefully it's not the last order. When I placed this order, they had a sale going on. It was a Memorial Day type sale, 40% off, and ooh, that's exciting. I also placed I placed 3 orders actually. One of the orders had some Philip Fracassi pre-order stuff coming up. So I went in, I wanted a signed copy, and I placed that order. Along the way, in that purchase, I bought some other stuff that was already in their store. So that stuff is coming. I placed this particular order that we're talking about. And then I placed another order that had some Blake Crouch pre-orders. We'll take a look at that kind of stuff and see when it comes in how that goes. But this particular order right here was the second order that I placed and the first one to arrive, and I was excited to get the postal notification that it's coming in. So excited because there's one in here that I hope is what I think it is, and I really, really wanted it. And then there's a couple others that I really wanted. So I figured out they're in, I picked them up, and then I get this box, and now I'm a little bit more worried than I was because I've already seen this show, I've heard this song, and I'm a little bit worried. I think there's at least 3 books in here, unless they combined orders and I didn't know it. There's 3 books in this one. The box isn't that big. It looks big to you, but it's not really that big. There seems to be a little padding in it, but not a lot. So the crunches are here and a little bit on the corners. When you got a box this heavy and somebody drops it, that momentum does a lot of, takes a lot of risk, could do a lot of damage. So I'm a little bit worried. I like boxes that are big. I like boxes with a lot of padding. And if I ever ship books, when I ship books, I use big boxes with a lot of padding because I want to do everything I possibly can to make sure that people get what they expect. So we're going to hope for the best here. Hopefully VJ Books got me these things in shape. And let's stop talking about hoping and let's open this stuff up. See how it goes. Hope for the best. I'm going to hold my breath and hope for the best. Hopefully, because like I said, there's one in here that I think I ordered a limited edition, signed and limited edition book, and if that's the case, they might not be able to get me another one if it's beat up. So I may be okay. See, I showed you the top of the boxes were bashed in a little bit, but the book stack doesn't go all the way to the top. It is, at least, you don't need that. It is at least wrapped in, I got this sitting on top. So there's some cushion there. Maybe I worry too fast. There's some cushion in there. And then it looks like my books, my whole stack of books, is wrapped congruently together in more bubble wrap. So I'm really hoping for the best. And let's get this thing open and show you what I ordered. I think I just told you. Should be 3 Blake Crouch books in here. And it's from BJ Books. So if I'm ordering from BJ Books, that means I'm wanting autographs, signed books, because signed is always better. I don't know why, but I've always loved signatures. To me, anything is better signed. And I've always been a signature collector. And when I started collecting books, naturally, signed books was something that I wanted. So, ever since I was a little kid. And we'd go down to the gymnasiums or the skating rinks or the bowling alleys, and we'd watch the Florida Championship Wrestling wrestlers. I always wanted to get them to sign something, whether it be a napkin or anything like that. Signatures are important to me. And so as a book collector, BJ Books does stuff neat. Because you pay a little bit extra. You pay not much. I think if you're not taking advantage of any kind of sale items or stuff like that, typically when a book comes out, it seems like for new books, you pay $32.99 plus shipping for the first print books as they come out, and you get them signed. And usually, you get a signature page that's inserted in there. So let's take a look. The first title I want to show you here is Blake Crouch's Dark Matter. And this one comes from Macmillan Publishing. And you see the dust jacket, the in spray all around the page edges, which looks really nice. A ribbon marker. And here's what I'm hoping. This one was listed as limited. Now, after I bought it, I think I saw one that was listed as limited, and this is it. It just simply says, one of a limited edition, signed by the author. So this one comes from Macmillan that way. This isn't one of BJ Books signed books with the, I can't think of the name of it, with, what do you call it? When you sign a page and you insert the page into the book, it's got a name for it and I can't think of it. Tipped in, that's what it is. Tipped in, you dumb son of a... So this is a limited edition, but not the numbered limited edition. I was hoping to get a numbered limited edition, but I didn't do my research. I didn't realize that there was multiple limited edition variations of this book. Take the dust jacket off, and we got a dinged... You can't see it very good. Can you see that corner? The corner there's dinged on the book, so that ain't so fun. In fact, the other corner here on the book is dinged. Well, this one's not as bad. Slightly bent there. But take a look at the end papers here. They match the book. Let's see what else there is to show you about this book. I don't think there are any interior illustrations in here, but let's take a look. So Macmillan, this is a UK version. And it looks a little bit different than the U.S. version, which I don't have. I don't have a hardcover. But of this book, I have pre-ordered Suntup Edition's signed numbered edition, which I'm excited to get, and I'll be glad to show you when I get it. So I'm flipping through here. I don't see any interior illustrations. Dark Matter is the first Blake Crouch book that I ever read, and I was hooked. This book was what hooked me. I'm a big fan of Blake Crouch now. It's not the only book that I've read of his at this point, but it was the first book that I read. So, reading Dark Matter, I had really very little to no idea what to expect. I'd heard rumors that Suntup Editions was coming out with their book that's already available for pre-order for the artist edition. The numbered edition is sold out. But I'd heard a rumor that it was coming out, and this was many months ago, sometime last year, sometime in 2021. I'd heard rumors that it was coming out. So I wanted to read it. I read a synopsis on it, and it sounded kind of interesting, but I didn't really know. I couldn't tell by that if it was going to be something I liked or something I didn't like. It was a highly regarded book, relatively new. So I read the book, and I truly loved that book. I loved it so much. And it was one of those books where I'm into it almost immediately. Practically immediately I'm in the book. And I start going along, and I really start finding that I can't figure any way out of this story. And when I get that way, it's a little bit frustrating for me because I can't see any good ways out. I can't see any way of this turning out in a way, in an acceptable manner. But Blake Crouch really stuck the finish. There's authors out there, and some very famous authors, who are notorious for having a hard time getting a good end to a book. And Dark Matter does not have that problem. The finish, the end, is supreme. It is just right. He came up with something, and in the end, I found myself kind of disappointed in myself for not thinking of it. It seemed, once he explained it, it seemed like, duh, why not? Why didn't I already think of that? But anyway, a great ending to a great book. Let's see what else I got in here. I ordered, on the Blake Crouch train, Recursion. Blake Crouch Recursion. And this is also the Macmillan United Kingdom first edition of the book. This one is signed, but it wasn't a limited edition. So this one is flat signed on the title page by Blake Crouch, the author of the day, and it is a first print. It was advertised as a first edition, first print. There's our number line there. It goes all the way down to 1. Let's take this dust jacket here and see what we'll see. So this book, I think, I can't remember the price on this, but again, remember, I ordered everything 40% off using a promo code. All of our corners look good. Very, very slight. Nothing that I worry about there on the spine. But here's our spine without the dust jacket from Macmillan. And this one is a glued binding. So it is definitely not sewn, which you would get into where you don't expect a sewn binding anymore from trade editions, whereas once you could often find sewn bindings on trade editions, not anymore. One of the features from VJ Books, which some of you will find is fantastic, there's our end papers, nice colored pages. Some of you will find fantastic is VJ Books puts a Mylar dust jacket protector, as far as I know, on all their books automatically when they ship it to you. So for those of you who don't do it yourself, it's a nice bonus when it comes that way directly from the seller. And then number last in this particular order, the last one of this particular order is also Recursion. And this is the United States, I believe, the first print, first edition. So let me go right there. Again, this is the United States first print, first edition. The number line goes all the way down. This one is also flat signed. It's flat signed on the title page, so there is not an inserted signature page in this one either way. I don't know what's going on. I can't think of what they call that. Tipped in. A tipped in signature page. Is that so hard? Is that so hard? Stupid. So we'll take off our dust jacket and take a look at this one. This one is a slight bumping on that corner. Not severe. What else? What else we got here? Other than that, looks like it looks good. So there's our spine. This one here is crown. And look at that. Look at that binding. No. There's you can. Anyway, you be the judge. I showed you what I showed you. You be the judge. If I see any thread, we're going to do this the dumb way. I don't see any thread, but it almost looks like a sewn binding to me, but I don't see any threads. Anyway, that's my order. And I already had a first print trade hardcover US version of this Recursion, but signed, like I said, signed is always better. So I already had one right over here on the shelf in what's becoming the Blake Crouch section. And I already had one of these. Now I got one of these. Signed is always better. So I've got an extra first edition, first print, trade hardcover of Recursion. Now Recursion, was the second Blake Crouch book that I ever read. And when I read Recursion, at first, for a while in this book, I was thinking, holy cow, he's blown dark matter out of the water with this book. And then it went a little ways, and I started thinking, I'm not really sure about this. Not really sure if I like it as much now. But by the end, they gave me a really good end. This is an end that I wouldn't have predicted. It almost, without spoiling anything, they kind of tricked you a little bit. Blake tricked you a little bit. He told you one thing, but in order to figure out what the ending would have been, he would have needed to tell you something else. But he didn't tell you that something else until the end. And then at the end, it's like, oh, okay, that works. So this is a really hard book to review. I was going to do a review for this book after reading it. And by the time it was over, I really couldn't do a review that was worth a half a toot, because you could only really talk about the first maybe 30 pages, maybe, before you start giving spoilers. There is an early spoiler in this book that none of the synopses warn you about. They tell you that this book is about memories and false memories and embedded memories and things like that, but they don't tell you everything. And about 30 pages in, you figure out that this book is actually not exactly what you think it is. And then, of course, you end up with a very good ending. And so I didn't do a review at all, because I figured, what's the point? I'm going to have to spoil it, and why bother? Anyway, Recursion is very good. Dark Matter, I would almost say Dark Matter is that much better. One is a 5, and one is a 4.999. Dark Matter is just slightly better than Recursion for my taste, in my opinion. But they're both very, very good. So after reading these two books, I was officially a Blake Crouch fan. And I'm shopping for more Blake Crouch stuff. And that's it for my VJ Books unboxing. A little bit of a disappointment on probably my end. Well, in fact, all my end. When you buy something, maybe you should research a little bit more. So here's the deal. I didn't know that there was two different kinds of limited editions of the book Dark Matter from Macmillan. And I jumped the gun and I ordered this one, which is a limited edition, thinking that limited edition was the one that was numbered, hand numbered, I think limited to 500 copies. They had not hand numbered, but numbered to 500 copies. After I bought it, got it coming all excited, I did notice, I think it was somebody on eBay. I noticed somebody on eBay was selling one that was a limited edition that had simply a limitation page, or just had the signature page like this one that simply said one of a limited edition signed by the author. So that's on me. So I can be disappointed all I want, and it's my fault. So admit that. When you're wrong, when you screw up, just admit it. I should have researched a little bit better. All it would have taken was a question, perhaps, from VJ Books, and they would have clarified. But anyway, that being said, I don't have the book I was hoping to get. I got a very cool book. It's going on my shelf. I'm not going to worry about anything else. I don't want to get a refund. It's going on my shelf. And at some point, I might try to get that numbered edition, or I might just say, forget it. Don't worry about it. There's plenty of cool Blake Crouch stuff coming up. So that's a lot of talking. And anyway, cool day, cool order. Without any further ado, have a terrific one. Thanks for your time. Thanks for stopping in. Farewell and adieu to you. C'est la vie, baby. P.S. I talked about pre-orders from Blake Crouch, and here is one of the pre-ordered books. This one is one of the pre-orders, Upgrade, the U.S. signed hardcover. Additionally, I pre-ordered the UK signed hardcover. So I got a couple of cool new books pre-ordered for Blake Crouch. I think PSS, I also pre-ordered A Child Alone with Strangers from Philip Fracassi. So I mentioned a couple pre-orders. That's what I pre-ordered. Child Alone with Strangers from Philip Fracassi. Upgrade from Blake Crouch. There you go.